welcome to this webinar. I'm so excited, and thank you for taking the time out to register and just hop on. I know we're all busy. If you're a mom, and even when you're not a mom, it's just a busy time. Listen, so I get it, and I appreciate you taking out the time to join us today. So the hot topic for today is how to master your summer as a mompreneur. And as you guys know, I am, they call it the ultimate mompreneur, but I'm a mom of three. I own Extreme Youth Sports, or Kid Success Zone. Kid Success Zone is actually our parent company, and we offer after-school programs and summer camps. But I also really truly have a heart and passion for parents, especially moms, and even more so moms that really feel like they should be making more money than they should be, or impacting the world on a higher level. And so I think that's a lot of moms that are either in business or has a part-time business. I know Essence is a beast in Detroit and has so many real estate investment properties, and it's so awesome. And she still has a full-time job, and 3 kids. So it's awesome to see women like you all that are doing multiple things and are moms or planning to be moms. I think we have one mom to be on here, Sharita, and we welcome you because I know you're going to be a mom at some point. So go ahead and, so Essence says she's a real estate developer in Detroit. Yes, she is. And how many properties do you have, Essence? Go ahead and say that, please, in the chat. Or you can say it out loud.
Yep, I have 10 properties.
So proud of you. Of you. But you also have a full-time job, correct?
Yes, full-time with the state of Michigan. I've been with the state of Michigan for 17 years.
This is awesome. 17 years? Oh my God, that's so awesome. So
right.
How she does all this? Hey, people always say moms do a lot, and we do. But I'm here to talk to you today about how we can do more, but also still enjoy our summer without pulling our hair out. And that's important. I think that's really important, because I think sometimes when we think of going full-fledged in business, we think of people that are stressed out all the time, that aren't enjoying life, or, just a mess, just scatter or not giving their all as a mom. And so I really want to dispel that myth, because I believe, especially during this time in the summer, is a perfect time to maximize your time as a mompreneur. So let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to share first a little story, and it's a sad story, unfortunately, but it's important nevertheless. I have a person that I grew up with, and I'm going to say her name because you wouldn't know her at all, but her name is Angie, and we grew up in the same small town, Kalamazoo, Michigan, went to the same church. She's a few years younger than me. She's along with my brother. She's 40 years old, if I'm correct. Yeah, 40 years old. And I really wasn't that close to her, but we ran in similar circles and grew up in the same church. But then, we weren't very close. Just a few days ago, I think 3 days ago, last week. Last week, my mom called me and she asked me, did I remember Angie? And I'm like, yeah, we grew up together. I just haven't talked to her in about 20 years because we weren't really close. She said, well, she committed suicide. And I'm what? And I was just really in shock that happened, that she left so early, that she, was so young, and she had 3 kids. She had 3 kids, and she was an artist too. So she was a very talented person. Yes, she struggled with mental health issues. Apparently she was in and out of depression and things like that. But it just really took my breath away to know someone that in the same circle. Like I said, we weren't close, but just to hear the sadness of a parent bearing her child that is 40, that decided that the only option she had was to take her life. Now, why am I sharing that story? The reason why I am is because it just made me stop and just really think about it. And I actually brought this. What do you call these things, y'all? If y'all know what it's called, please write it in the chat, because I could not think of it for the life of me. What is this thing called? Anybody know? I don't know. Y'all know what it is.
Hourglass.
It's an hourglass. Thank you, Sharita. So it's an hourglass, and you can time things. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I've been into home decor lately, and I was looking for things for my daughter's room, and I found this, and I said, oh my God, I love it. But I also thought it was very unique and beautiful, but it also reminded me of time, how precious our time is, how valuable our time is. And we can be so busy, especially as moms. We can be so busy running a rat race and doing for our kids, doing for our husband or boyfriend or our workplace, our business. And then, we forget about the dreams that we have on the inside of us. I mean, tell me if that's not true. Is that true as a mom, that you tend to give? I remember going to Detroit and visiting my cousin Essence some years ago. I can't remember how many years ago that was, but I was so impressed that she still had a full-time job, had 3 kids, and had invested in so many properties. And I'm like, how in the world are you doing this? But all of us have busy lives, whether we have a teenager, whether we have 1 child, whether we, like Kiara, has two kids. Matter of fact, go ahead and put in there if you're a mom to be or how many kids you have. Go ahead and put in the chat, because everybody's in different stages. And if you can put their age, that's great. If not, that's okay. All right, so Natalie has 2 kids, 13 and 10, 2 boys. That's how I know Natalie. They've been in our summer camp and after school program. Yeah, Essence says she gives until it hurts. Yes, I know you're such a giver. And so many of us are. Luana says, I'm a single mom of 1 teenager, age 17, which I love your son. Essence said, mother of 3, 10, 7, and 5. 10? Oh my God. Lord have mercy. That's craziness. I know Badria has 1 son, and I can't remember how old Solomon is. And then Sharita is a mom to be, and then Kiara. Oh, I'm sorry. People are in the waiting. Oh, Lord have mercy. See, this is why I don't need to be the host. I need to make somebody else a host. I got 7 people in here waiting. Lord have mercy. Hi, guys. Whoops. So sorry you're waiting in the waiting room. This is why I don't need to be the host. Guys, this is hilarious. I didn't even realize y'all were in there. So anybody want to be the host? That would be awesome. All right, guys, let's see who we got on here. Just want to welcome you all. Thanks for hopping on. We got Natasha in here. Natasha's in the powerhouse. Brittany, thanks for coming on. Brittany is also in the powerhouse. Who's that? iPhone. Oh, Isha! Thanks for hopping on. Isha has her mask on, doing hair. I appreciate you. She's also in our private mastermind group. Anybody want to be the host? Mom, you want to be the host? A lot of things with music. But look, my mom's laughing. Okay, it's okay. No worries. All right,
I'll be co-host.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. You're too fancy. All right. So anyhow, it's okay. I'm going to keep going. Sometimes I ignore the waiting room and I forget people are in there. Hopefully you guys weren't waiting long. So all we started with is we were just saying how I was just talking about what everybody does. And so go ahead and, if you hopped on now, go ahead and put in the chat if you can. I know, Isha, you're doing hair right now, but go ahead and put in the chat what you do. Oh, let me see. Hold on.
Here, I'll be the host. And let
You be the host? Oh, thank you so much, Mom. All I need you to do is really just watch to see if anybody comes in the...
I will.
I appreciate you. All right, hold on. So as you're waiting, guys, go ahead and put what you do. And if you have any kids, how many kids. Hey, Rachel, thanks for coming on. All right, I just did it, Mom. That's my mom, y'all. Apparently Harris is in the building. No, so glad to have you, Mom. She's the reason, one of the main reasons why. Awesome. You want to paint on your fingers? So let me just mute somebody.
You got paint on your fingers? You need a wipe?
All right, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring you guys up to speed. Yeah, we got it, Natalie. Thank you. Kiara was being a mom. And that's what it's all about. So today's hot topic is on how to master yourself as a mompreneur. And again, thank you so much for connecting and taking out the time to come and join us for this webinar. So excited. All you miss is we were just kind of doing introductions as to what people do. Go ahead and say what you do. And Natasha's in, thank you. Say what you do as far as your profession or your business and how many kids you have. And if you can put their ages, that's awesome. We were talking about how we're super moms. You know, we're super moms. We tend to do a lot. And everyone knows that, that moms do a lot. And even if you're a mom to be, women in general tend to do a lot more. And that's no secret, I mean, obviously. But I think that it's important for us to know what we should be focusing on. So I really, truly have a heart for parents. I have a heart for moms in general that want to make more, that want to achieve the dreams that are inside of them. You know, we all have dreams that God has given us that we're called to do to impact the world, our world, on a higher level. But there's usually so many things that are stopping us or hindering our progress. So, hey, everyone. Thanks. I'm looking at the chat too. Awesome. Okay, excellent. So, yes, we got Rachel on here. She's a mom of one, I think 10 years old. Yeah, go ahead and keep putting that in there, guys. And I'm going to keep going because I don't want to lose too much time. So I shared a story about, Mom, you know this person, about someone who just recently committed suicide and how sad it is to hear people at such a young age, any age, that choose to take their lives. And I was showing my new hourglass that I got and I love, but I really got it not just because of the colors and how cute it was, but because it's a good reminder of how time is so precious. It's so valuable. And how often as moms, we can get so busy in the rigmarole of life, of business, of work, of giving to our kids, where we don't give to ourselves or we don't take the time out to do what we've been called to do. God placed us on this earth for a certain reason. You know, he knows everyone on here. Well, I believe everyone knows. All of you all should know that God placed you on this earth for a purpose, for a certain reason. So some of you may know your purpose. Some of you may not. Some of you may know what you're good at, but you forget about it. We tend to focus on our shortcomings. We tend to focus on our weaknesses and less on our strengths. And that hinders our progress. I'm not saying ignore what you're not good at, but we got to think about what is blocking us, what's hindering us from progressing and working on those things that God has called us to do. So I wanted to talk about the time, how time is so important. I shared a little bit about me. I think all of you all know me personally. Let's see who we got. Awesome. Natasha, she's an assistant project manager, construction during the day, and the owner of Bordonados and Against the Grain Living. She is a powerhouse mom, has property in Florida and in Connecticut, and I miss you. I'm so glad to see your face. And then we've got Rachel. She's a mom of one, holds several roles in our church ministry, very busy professionally, is a service agent for a corporate retirement saving and securities company. So welcome. So let's get into it, guys. I shared a little bit about me. You guys know about me. I'm a mompreneur, mom of three, own Kid Success Zone, Extreme Sports of Lake Mary Longwood. We just recently moved into a new location. That's why I have this beautiful new media room. But I want you guys to know that all of this did not happen like overnight. I've been in business for 9 years, and I want to take you back to 21 years ago, and my mom will remember this. 21 years ago, you know, I had a panic attack, and I was in college, and long story short, I was doing so much. I didn't have any kids. I wasn't married. I was single and young. But I had like 3 jobs. I was working as an RA, as an academic coordinator, all these different things. I was like vice president of Black Caucus. I was doing all kinds of things. Worked at financial aid. I was a babysitter. I did all kinds of crazy things. And then that's not even including what I did for the ministry. I was in the dance ministry. I was in membership service, all kinds of craziness. It was just a lot. And I enjoyed it, but it became too much. I didn't know how to say no. And I think that's what happens to us as moms. We tend to say yes, 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 I'll do it. Oh, no problem. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, you want me to take you there? Oh, yeah, yeah, I got it. Whatever. And we just forget that, wait a minute, there's things that we're supposed to be doing for ourselves, taking care of ourselves, but not even just self-care, but also working on those dreams that God has put on us, put inside of us. Okay, not on us. But so 21 years ago, I had a panic attack. And I had a panic attack for a couple reasons. Because number one, I was doing too much, barely eating and sleeping. And number two, I was trying to please everyone around me besides God. I was headed to law school. I wanted to go to law school. Well, that was my dream as a teenager. I was very interested in juvenile law. I had taken the LSAT, but at some point I decided in my mind that I didn't want to do that. But I was so afraid of what everybody else would think if I changed my mind and not going to law school. And so I ended up having a panic attack. But it was all built on stress and trying to please everyone. And I changed my mind, and my mom came up to Michigan State, and she helped me. She made me quit all these jobs. And you remember Mom, don't you? Quit all these jobs, and I only could keep one, and only be in so many activities. But it helped me learn how important. Oh, hey, Kim Sargent, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you. But it helped me learn. Go ahead and mute. Thank you. It helped me learn when I had that panic attack and I had to look at my life and start taking out things that I was doing that I just was doing to please someone, or it just was just too much. There's seasons and times for everything. And so that helped me to learn the power of stress and the power of saying no, because I was a yes person. I was just yes, 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 yes. And, you know, when you're a high achiever, and all of you all ladies are high achievers, every single last one of you I know personally are high achievers. That's why you're on this webinar, because you want to do more. But let's think about it. You've got to think back and figure out, okay, what is important now? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So first I want to ask you guys a few questions. As far as 2020, now 2020 has been altogether different. It's been different now with the pandemic, what's going on, you know, with the protest and, you know, how things are changing. I want to know, what have you learned in 2020 personally? Type it in the chat. What have you learned in 2020? And Kim, before that, if you can go ahead and say what you do in the chat, that would be awesome. Natasha, you said you have actually enjoyed the turnout. What do you mean the turnout? Are you saying the shutdown? Oh, gotcha. Okay, Natasha said she had the shift instantly and work great. You work great under pressure. Yep. Okay, good. We're going to talk about that. Awesome. Yeah. Tell me, what do you think about? What do you think about, I mean, what did you learn? What have you learned in 2020? I know for me, I've learned that our time is precious. My time is precious, and I need to do better at spending my time with the highest priorities. Okay. Rachel said how to be resourceful and persevere through many changes, shifting, working at home during this pandemic. Absolutely. Kim said she's a wellness coach, physical therapist. Let's see. Oh, good. Essence says, I've learned to enjoy my children in the home that I've created. Very good. I think Isha would say that same thing. Isha's the hairstylist actually doing hair right now. And I know that's one thing that she really enjoyed, taking all that time off that she normally does not have, but being able to enjoy her children and enjoy her family and decorating. We've been shopping together, finding good stuff for our home, which has been awesome. So very good. Okay, awesome. Natasha says she agrees. Excellent. Yes. The family time has been great. Even my family in Michigan, I'm from Michigan, but I live in Florida and have been for 9 years. And I probably FaceTime my parents and my family more than ever before. So that's been awesome. Definitely talking to them more. Very good. All right, I want you to write in the chat, what do you need more of? So you've got a lot of people have enjoyed the time to kind of slow down, being forced to slow down. And you've enjoyed the time with your family. What do you need more of, though? With how things are going right now, what do you need more of? It could be anything. It could be anything. And I know things are different. Like we have some folks on here from Michigan and from Florida and Connecticut. So I know things are different in every state. But personally, what do you need more of? Oh, Essence, that's good. She said, I need more energy. That's probably the story of most moms. My mom said, I've learned to reset, refocus, and refresh. Reset by renewing my mind, refocus on the things of God and my purpose, and refresh my time with God. My mom has a message, a ministry message for everything. You have to know my mom. I love you, Mom. That's excellent. Reset, refocus, and refresh. Isha says she loves that. Thank you, Mom. Definitely time. Yes, for sure. Natalie says she needs more time. And see, that's often what I say. And then I have to realize, okay, I have the same 24 hours that, people that I look up to have. And if they're getting more done, then what are they doing? So that's often what I have to look at. Like, okay, what am I doing that they're doing differently? And so that's really good. Time, balance, Kim Sargent said. My life coach, Dr. Stacia Pierce, she always says that, moms struggle with balance like so much. And we all, want to balance everything, family, business, work, self-care, all of this. But she always maintains that there's never a perfect balance. It's never going to be a perfect balance. And you just have to know what season you're in. It may be a time of resetting, refreshing, relaxing with your family. It may be a time of pushing and grinding, but really focusing on what that time is for you. Very good. Okay, awesome. All right, so I want you to tell me one last thing, and then I'm going to get into the secret sauce, y'all. I'm ready for the secret sauce. So I want you to type in why you registered. What do you want to get out of this webinar? Like, what do you need from me? When we look at mastering our summer as a mompreneur, or if you're a mom to be, how can I help? Okay, go ahead and say that real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and share the secret sauce. Yes, my mom said there's also time to be very creative. Yes. My mom can sew really good, and I cannot sew. Don't ever ask me to sew anything. But she realized she could sew, and people needed masks, and so she started sewing masks. And she sold. Put in the chat how many you sold, Mom. And even my auntie, Essence Mom, was making them too. But that's being creative and solving a problem that people had during the pandemic. So go ahead and put that in there, Mom. Okay, Natalie said she wants to learn more about balance. Very good. What else? Oh, somebody said, who said that? I need someone who can create business documents for me. Yeah. See, we're going to talk a little bit. We're not going to get into that so much, but that is important. Passive income and save for emergencies. Good. My mom said she made almost 500 face masks. And my mom is not an entrepreneur in that regard, but I mean, she really is. I mean, she is 60-some years old and was spending hours and hours making masks for people so they could be protected during this time. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I was very impressed by her creativity, but also taking her skill to help others. And that's what we should be doing, honestly. I know that's a lot of math. I don't have the patience. I'm going to tell you right now. So anyway, let's get into it. All right, 7 secrets to maximize your summer as a mompreneur. If anyone is after this, like LaWanda or anyone that can type, it would be awesome if you can put these 7 in. I had it on slides, but I really honestly do not like changing on the slides and having to share my screen, then come back to me. It's just too much. So if somebody could type this in, everybody doesn't need to do it, but one person. So number one, as far as 7 secrets to maximize your summer as a mompreneur. Number one is start early. I know we hear that about getting up early. How many of you guys are night owls and how many are morning birds? Go ahead and put that in the chat if you're a night owl or a morning early bird. Okay, start early. Okay, LaWanda, well, you're a teacher, so yeah, those teachers, Lord, you have to be on, not only up early, but on 10 for your students. Let's see, Essence says start early. Good. Okay, awesome. My mom said I need someone to be accountable to in order to be disciplined in ministry. Good. My mom is an early bird. She liked to be in bed at night and she liked to be up early. Let's see. Oh, LaWanda says she's a night owl also. Okay, good. All right. So what I wanted to say about starting early is I'm truly a night owl. Okay. But what I found out over the years, especially as a parent more so, that I had to utilize the quiet time in the morning before my kids were up, before my husband was up. It's so important to get that quiet time, but I think it's important to get it on both ends. For me, I like it in the morning and night. Sometimes I don't get it both times. Sometimes I'm too tired. And sometimes I, get up in the morning and I'm doing my morning routine, and then my 2-year-old KJ runs in there and he's trying to get in my bed and totally jacks up my meditation time and all of that. But I still have to protect that time. And usually if I'm very disciplined with my morning time, my day goes much better. The reason why I think that early time is important is because then you can set up your day. So even if it doesn't even have to be long. I think sometimes we as moms think so complicated and overthink things like, oh, okay, I got to get up an hour early, maybe 2 hours early, and you're like just fried at work because you're so tired, or it's just unrealistic. And that's the same thing with anything. I mean, it could be a goal for losing weight. You may need to lose 60 pounds, but if you're thinking about the 60 pounds, then you may not even lose the 5, so taking it step by step. So it might be getting up 15 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier, whatever it is to be able to beat your kids or your husband or whatever, or even just your morning routine. Like Sharita is single. She's the mom to be. So if she's single and she gets up at a certain time, it's super important for her to get up a little earlier so she can spend that time in prayer and meditation, but also in quietness. I grew up with a mom who is very, very good at being consistent and disciplined in her prayer life. I heard her every single morning at 6 in the morning praying down the basement. We have basements in Michigan. And so praying every day was never a problem for me because I saw that habit built when I was a child growing up. But I didn't really understand about meditating. I didn't know anything about that until I was in college and even older than that. But also just spending the time in quietness to be able to center yourself, to be able to think, ask God questions and find out, okay, what should I be focusing on? I'm doing all these things and I feel stretched thin. How can I simplify my schedule? How can I get the help that I need? If you don't have that time to be quiet, whether it's in the morning or night, you'll never figure that out. You'll be 60, you'll be 70, and you'll still be talking about doing the same dreams that you talked about before. Starting some program, writing a book, starting a webinar, writing a course, coming out with a product, you have an invention. None of that stuff will happen if you will not protect that me time. And I encourage you to do it early. Okay, so start early. All right, number 2, spend the summer sharpening your skills. Spend the summer sharpening your skills. This time is perfect. I know I've had a lot of teacher friends that love it because, well, not love the whole distance learning and school closing, but that CEU credits or continuing education credits have been very, very affordable or free. There's a lot of courses, online courses, not just for teachers, anyone, anything you want to learn, whether it's photography, whether it's getting a certification. I know I have one friend that was laid off and she got like 3 or 4 certifications during this time. But, you know, she doesn't have little kids. So you have to think about, what do you want to get better at? It may be one thing. It may be one thing. It may be just enrolling in a course. You know, I'm going to talk about one of my courses that we had just a couple months ago, and I'm going to launch it again in a week. But, you know, the women that did that, they invested in themselves, and it was only a 4-week course. That's my Mompreneur mentorship course. And they accomplished so much. Natasha was in it. Isha was in it. There's a lot of other ladies that were in it that accomplished so much in 4 weeks. Kiara was in it as well. And Akinji too. So I want you guys to know that we should be spending our summer sharpening our skills. So if you think about and actually I'm going to go to number 3. Number 3 is set yourself on a school schedule. Set yourself on a school schedule. So some of you all have kids that are elementary school age, high school age, or grown. But think about when you have students, and if you are a parent of young kids, you want them having fun and enjoying their summer, but you also don't want them losing what they learned in the school year. So you want to keep them on a habit of reading, you know, doing something where they're learning, some hands-on learning throughout the summer. And that's super important. You want them sharpening their skills. It may be learning a language. It may be learning how to code, you know, whatever it may be. So as children, it's super important so their brains don't become mush over the summer, and then they come back in the fall and they're expected to know all these things. Even more so this year. This year has been crazy as far as for the schools. Schools were closed several weeks. It was 10 weeks. And I mean, it's different in different districts. Our schools were closed for 10 weeks. So when we talk about that, you know, teachers were forced to come up with this distance learning program that they had to pull together in like just a couple weeks. So, you know, it definitely was not the best that as far as kids learning on a high level, because they had to make sure kids were able to do it. So because of that, they probably didn't learn a ton of new information. So if you flip that to adults, okay, we went through that pandemic and we're still, you know, happening. We're seeing ourselves through it. But so much happened during that period, whether you were affected by business or your work or laid off or just stressed out or fearful of what was happening. We have to think about, we've got to gather during the summer and make up for lost time. We've got to think about, what can we do before the fall comes? When the fall comes, it's business as usual. Yeah, business may be a little bit different in the fall this year. However, we know things tend to get a lot busier in the fall. It's a little opposite for me because I own a summer camp. So summer camp actually tends to be our busiest season of the year. However, I always, over the last few years, I'll say, I have to make sure during the summer I take time away for myself to make sure that I figure out, what do I need to sharpen? What skills do I need to sharpen? Right now it's on learning how to launch online courses and learning about webinars, all those things. Thank you for joining this one. But that was important to me. So there's some other things that I'm learning too, and making some nutritional changes in my eating. Because I was eating way too many Corona snacks. I don't know about y'all, and not having the gym was really tough for me. So really thinking about these last weeks of summer, we're halfway through the summer. What can you do to sharpen your skills? Okay. What can you not do that you maybe should not be doing, that you're spending too much time doing? Okay. Number 4, silence the noise. This is super important. I can't stress this enough, to silence the noise. So y'all might not like this, but sometimes I get people that are like irritated because I'm not saying a whole lot about race, what's going on with the race, you know, the protests and all of that, George Floyd and everything horrible that may have happened or has happened for years. Or they may say, you know, well, you're not taking the coronavirus seriously because have you seen the death toll and you guys are still open? And guess what? That's when I had to silence the noise early on in the pandemic, because what I know is that I am called to inspire families to succeed. I am called to motivate kids to succeed. I am called to parents So I have a passion for that, and I know that God has given me that passion. So I am not going to allow myself to be distracted by negativity, by thoughts of, and I don't want to say I'm not afraid of anything, but I know the word says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So guess what? I'm going to stand on that. And whether or not I have concerns, definitely the pandemic was very stressful for me and my business. We lost a ton of business during the pandemic. But I am thankful that I had the right relationships and the right mentors in my life to help me see through it and pivot during this whole time, and figure out what we can do to bring in more income. And we did that. And we ended up, losing business, gaining business. It was a whole roller coaster. But now we are thriving like never before, and even had to move into a brand new location. For us, that is amazing. It has everything we ever wanted for now. And so it's just like, wow, God just blessed on blessed on blessed. But it was partly because I decided to silence the noise and not be distracted with everything that's going on. Just figure out what I need to do in order to serve my community in the way that I'm called to. Protect the children's mental wellness. Impact the kids on a level where they're having fun, where they're safe, where they're staying healthy, these sorts of things. But that is part of my purpose. And so I make sure that I don't allow what's going on in the media, in the world. I mean, the whole world could be crashing around me, but guess what? I am focused on what God has called me to do. And I encourage you to do the same. I'm not saying don't fight for injustice to stop. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't peaceful protest. I'm not saying that the corona is not real and there's conspiracy. I'm not here to say that. What I'm here to say is silence the noise so you can get quiet and know what God has called you to do. Know what's your high priorities in your life. What is a high priority? Every morning when I meditate, that's what I think about. I meditate on what I'm grateful for in my life, in my family life, in my business life. And then I focus on what my hot priorities, my highest goals and dreams that I'm focused on. Only 3. I only focus on 3 every morning. But I see myself accomplish them. I see our family accomplishing them. And so that's what I want you to think about, guys. So silence the noise. Number 5, set your intentions. Set your intentions. And that kind of goes hand in hand, really, honestly. Oh, somebody said, Natasha said we have to focus on our mental health. Absolutely. And that's why I started with that sad story about that 40-year-old that took her own life. And, we see things like that and we're like, oh my God, that's so sad. So thankful I don't have mental health issues. But guess what? All of us have to protect our mental wellness and our mindset, because it affects how we move in life every day. So whether you have an anxiety disorder, whether you fighting depression, or you do go to counseling or you don't go to counseling, I mean, the bottom line is, how are you protecting your mental wellness? Period. Because you can say you don't have any mental health issues, but you have a serious problem with fear. And you allow the media to infiltrate your mind with fear, so much so that it grips your mind and it stops you from progressing in your purpose. Again, I'm not saying that the things that we're facing in our world, the challenges that we're facing, are not real. But we have to know that regardless of what's happening, regardless of our problems, our challenges, and our obstacles, we are still called to do what we've been called to do. So that's what I want you guys to think about. My mom said, refocus on your destiny and purpose and not be in fear regarding world events. Very good. And another
Excuse me, Kia, you're at 12:45, sweetheart.
Thank you so much, timekeeper. I appreciate you so much. That's why I always have to have a teacher in the group. That's good, because you're always conscious of time. I know you are. Thank you. So, as far as setting your intentions, so that's something I had to do during the early part of the pandemic, is really set my intentions. We had that point, we had like 60 some kids in our after school program. That was the highest we had in our after school program. Summer camp is totally different because we have a lot of kids in summer camp. Last year we had about an average of about 75 to 80 kids come every week, and a total of about 200 kids came through the summer because we started summer camp first. So anyhow, we were at the height of our after school numbers, and then COVID happened. And we went all the way down to like 18 kids. It was crazy. So I had to set my intentions on getting through this situation, knowing that God has my back, knowing that, and I think everybody on here is Christians. If you're not, so sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I know the word says that we can profit in the famine. So when businesses were closing and I had never heard so many parents get laid off and calling me to cancel in my life of business. But even still, I focused on what I know God will do. He always shows up. He always is there, no matter what challenges we face. So I had to set my intentions that I'm going to get through this. We're going to get through this. And the reason why it was so important for me to do that is because guess what? I had 8 employees at that time. Now I think I have 11, I believe, or I think 11. But I had 8 employees at that time. So you're like, okay, Lord, how am I going to pay these people? You know, we have all this loss of income. But thankfully, again, I have a life coach, Dr. Stacia Pierce, who is amazing. You know, my business mentor, Dwayne Spires, who has helped us in building this program, they both were like, no, yes, this is happening and it's tough and nobody likes it. But guess what? We're going to get through it like we get through anything else. And you just got to figure out how you can pivot. And so that's when we started the virtual program. We were running camp all day and we were running a virtual program. We started it, we know what we were doing, and then we developed a system. And so now we have a virtual learning academy for math and reading. We have a virtual summer camp experience, and then we have a live summer camp, 2 different locations on the same property. I didn't see that happening, but I did see it happening, if you know what I mean. I saw it because I refused to see our business closing the doors. And we had 4 competitors close their businesses. That's a lot. So I knew as businesses started to close, I knew our business was going to pick up because parents need care. So what I ask you to do is think about how you need to set your intentions this summer. Right now, sometimes we have these big dreams, these big, money goals, these, all of these things. Okay, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, that's great. Okay, you want to have 6 figures. Okay, that's great. But if you're at 40, okay, how do we get to 50? How do we get to 60? If you're the Essence owns like 12 properties, real estate, what does she want to do with that? You got to think about what do you need to focus on? What do I need to be focusing on right now? And what is important in these next 30 days before fall really gets started. Okay. So I want you guys to take some time. We're going to take some time right now. I want you to write it down either on your notebook or if you feel comfortable writing in the chat. What do you think is one thing you need to focus on the rest of the summer? One thing that you really, really need to focus on. Oh, Natasha said, I birthed virtual camp, and then you said that you are about to close on a multi-family unit. I love it. I love it. You guys are some powerful women. And I mentioned my business mentor and my life coach. So make sure. Oh, wait, I don't want to go too far. That's a number 7. I'll wait. That's important, though, because you guys are powerful ladies, and I think it's important to surround yourself with other like-minded mompreneurs or like-minded people, because that could be a problem, a big problem. And we kind of forget that, how it affects our thinking. But our mindset is everything. You can have all the money you need. You can have the people that can help you with your business. But if you have a mindset issue that will hinder you from charging the right price or launching out and writing that book or launching out that program or that invention, or you have negative people in your ear telling you that it's not going to happen, guess what? It won't. It won't. All right. So Natalie said, creating new pay structure for my business. Love it. Natasha said she needs to organize her paperwork and update her commercial cleaning website so she can focus on her planner. Yes, you better come out with that plan. We're all waiting, Natasha. Natasha was part of my Mompreneur mentorship course a couple months ago, And she has a full-time job, also owns a commercial cleaning company, and then moved to Connecticut, has business in both places, Connecticut and Florida, but also has a true passion for financial freedom and helping people pay off debt. I mean, she has some crazy testimonies of paying off a lot of debt. I think it was what, $23,000 that you paid off, and I forgot how many months, but it's major. So I'm like, girl, if you don't get that in a planner, get it in something so we can all take advantage of it. All right, it says, Essence said she needs to focus on the opportunity to redevelop a bigger project. Okay, I have to leave my fear of scaling up from residential and multifamily to larger scale, multi-million-dollar projects. Ooh, I love it. I love it. You can do it, Essence. You just need the right team. I love it. Okay, very good, very good. Kim Sargent said, improve organizational systems to service clients, create business website, 3 times passive income. Excellent, love it, love it, love it. You can do it too. Kim Sargent, I knew her years ago because her kids were in our program when we just started. So I always have a heart for her because she brought her boys. We only had like 30 kids in summer camp, in a whole summer camp. So I appreciate you. Awesome, awesome. All right, so let me keep going. So we said set your intentions. Set your intentions. I want you to write it down now in your journal, wherever you're at. If you're working and you can't write, after sometime today, write down what your intentions are for the rest of the summer, period. Don't go crazy. I think that's something I had to learn because I'm a high achiever. I like to write these long lists, okay? And the long list is fine. Like, you know, my life coach encourages us to write like 101 goals in January. And at first I'm like, this is too many. But what I learned is it helps me to think bigger. But then every month and every day, I need to focus on just the top priorities. And every morning, focus on only 3. And maybe 1, and that's okay. I think what happens is we have so many goals, so many big dreams that, you know, sometimes we just don't take any action because we're afraid or we're just overwhelmed. Okay, so set your intentions. Number 6, I gotta move faster. Save time with smart decisions. Save time with smart decisions. This is important, and I don't have the time to get into it as much as I want to, but I think that this is one thing that parents, people ask me all the time, like, how in the world do you do so much? You know, how do you do this so much and you have great kids and blah, 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 blah. So this is something I figure out. I figure that I do have some secret sauce on it. You know, I do know that there's some time-saving secrets that I have in the Mompreneur mentorship course. That's some of the things. That's actually one full module we go over is time-saving tips for busy moms. Part of it is releasing the mommy guilt to hire help. That's one thing. You know, I have had someone clean my house every 2 weeks for years. I don't know how many years, but she's awesome. And every once in a while, you know, if business is lower, I may cut it out, and that's okay. But I don't like doing deep cleaning in my house. And even if I like it, guess what? It's not making me money. So that's something that I realized I needed to hire help for. Sometimes it's date night, having that time with my husband and hiring a babysitter. You know, I hear when I talk to certain couples, they're like, oh my God, we haven't had a date in, 2 years. I'm like, what? Or a vacation, and you're so afraid to leave the kids or whatever it may be. And you need that time because so much of that mommy guilt really just hinders our progress. Because when you get away for vacation or get away in the morning or get away for a day, guess what? That's that time where you can have that miracle morning where you're really asking God questions on how do you execute these dreams that he put on the inside of you. Okay, so just think about that. Save time with smart decisions. I know someone, I pay someone to do laundry. Like I don't mind doing laundry, but the folding with 3 kids, I got the toddler with the kids don't understand how to wear jeans over, all that. I mean, it's a lot of laundry. Are you kidding? Shoot. And when y'all have multiple kids, you understand. It's a lot of laundry. So no, I don't feel bad about paying somebody to do laundry or to fold my laundry and put it away. and that loves doing it and loves to organize it, and I'm giving them extra cash. So no, I don't feel guilty, not by any ounce, because guess what? I am helping that person add cash to their hands, and they're solving a problem for me. So that may be somebody like a virtual assistant. You may need an assistant. There's interns out there. We've had interns. Even during the pandemic, I hired a girl for just like 5 hours a week, and she was a high schooler. And guess what? She young, but she was just at home bored doing distance learning. And she did a lot of work for us in that 5 hours, because I couldn't hire somebody, with a college degree. We didn't have the income coming in like that. So I did that. I asked her to do that because she was an intern with us last year. She worked for free last summer. And that was for credit for her school. But she worked, I paid her this time, but I don't have to pay a teenager as much as someone with a degree. So save time with smart decisions. Figure out in your life, in your business, where do you need to save time? Where are you doing things that aren't money-making tasks that are really, I don't even want to say mundane, are really taking up so much time or stressful? Whether it might be bookkeeping, you may hate bookkeeping, or you may hate, the things that you hate. Why aren't you just hiring somebody to do it, or finding an intern? There's like colleges everywhere. Every year we get an intern. And I didn't do that until probably 4 years ago, but it's very helpful. And I love to give young people an opportunity, because I did like 3 internships, and it helped me to learn how to operate in an office, how to be professional, all these sort of things. So just don't think like, oh, I don't want to work somebody for free. You got people that want to learn what you do. And part of that is just being controlling. I had to learn. I didn't think I was a controlling person, and I just didn't think I was controlling. But honestly, because I was doing everything, I was controlling, because I felt like I was the only person that could do what I do. That's hogwash. It's hogwash. It is absolute hogwash. And that's why I promoted my director. I promoted an assistant director. when I was able to do that, I did it because they probably can do it better than me, or I can train them to do it better than me. Okay? Because I should be focused on being the visionary as the entrepreneur, as the owner of the business and the CEO. Okay? All right, I got to wrap it up here. All right, so number 7 is secure the right relationships. Secure the right relationships. I already talked a little bit about having the right mentor, coach. I'm in like 3 different programs. I have a life coach. I have a business coach. I'm in a course that I'm taking. But I learned early on from Dr. Stacia, layer your learning. And it's not to be spread thin, but sometimes you need certain people in your life that will help you. I know Natasha, we've known each other for years from my business. She had her boys in my program, but Natasha is in some of the same coaching programs that I am with Dr. Stacia. But Natasha was like, okay, I'm going to take your course, your mentorship course, Mompreneur mentorship course. And she got a lot done in that course. Same as Kiara. Kiara took it upon herself to go ahead and push and do this ebook, and she did it, and she came out with it. And it's an ebook for couples. It's amazing. In 101 date ideas. Look it up, Kiara Mason. But what I'm saying is, there was a lot that could be done because women decided to secure the right relationship and join my mentorship program. And so let me talk about that a little bit. And making sure you have the right relationships, whether it's your circle, your friends, your family. Some family, you're going to have your family. But you have to think about, if you have someone that's constantly negative in your ear, you got to make sure that you are not allowing them to affect how you think about yourself and your business. Okay? So the last thing I want to talk about is my Mompreneur mentorship course. I just ran the first cohort. Ladies that were in it, guys, they were amazing. We had some powerful women in there. We were able to network, support each other, but also I was their pusher friend. I was able to push them into doing what God has called them to do in 4 weeks. And that sounds very advantageous, but I just like to get it done. And I like to create that focus and help for women to do what they've been called to do on a step-by-step basis. So what we did, and I'm going to share this real quick because I'm launching it again. It'll start next week. So if you're interested in it, let me know. It's actually on sale now. It's normally $297. It's on sale for $197. But if you're interested, or if you know somebody interested, let me know. Or you can go to my website. It's KiaLoggins.com. Again, KiaLoggins.com. And it's the Mompreneur Mentorship course. So the 4 different modules, it's a 4-week online course. And it involves 4 different modules on clarity, how to increase your clarity and creativity, to increase your income, how to have the mompreneur mindset, which is super important. That one is the big one. Identifying what mindset blockers you have. And number 3, the 3rd week is time-saving tips for busy moms. Each week you get a download that has everything you need, all the secret sauce on what you need to do and what you can do personally in order to save time or develop that mindset you need. And then the last one is finalizing your fast action plan. The whole point of my 4-week course is to be able to set your intentions on a short period of time and what you can accomplish during that time so you can be focused for the next level. Okay. So again, it starts next. I keep going back and forth on Thursdays or Fridays. We did Friday mentorship calls. Friday at noon. That works for a lot of people, but I'm tempted to do it on Thursday. So if you guys have a preference, please let me know. Even if you're not taking it, I just like to know. I just think sometimes people go out of town on Fridays. So I'm tempted to just do it Thursdays for 4 weeks. And then it also includes a 1-hour live strategy call. Now, I love the strategy calls. We probably got the most accomplished during those strategy calls. I don't know. It was both. It was great because the mentorship sessions on those 4 modules were awesome. But then the strategy call is one-on-one. It's just an hour, and we work out what you want to work on, what you want to focus on, and what is blocking you, so we can remove that out the way. So what I'm going to do today for all of you guys that are on, anybody that is interested in that course at all, whether you took it before or if you've never taken it and you just want to ask me questions about it, I'm going to set up a free call, just a 30-minute call, no more than that, just to answer your questions about it. Especially if you're involved in other things or you're trying to find time. So just let me know. I'm actually going to send an email to all of you all to set that up if you're interested, whoever's interested. All right. And then you also, with the Mompreneur Mentorship course, you get secure access. You get to secure access to our private Facebook group, which is amazing. We have, it's my Mompreneur Mastermind group that I started, I think, a year ago now, 2 years ago. I can't remember. Anyhow, it's a private Facebook group, so we can share things with each other. It was very helpful during that time of PPP and EIDL. We were sharing all kinds of grants and everything with everybody. But it's a private Facebook group, and I don't have any more space unless you are in one of my courses. And then the last thing I want you guys to do is really, really think about all that we talked about, but think about today. What's one thing you can do this weekend to set your intentions on what you're called to do? What is one thing you can do? Just one thing. And I want you to think about that right now. Go ahead and put it in the chat.